Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been sitting in meetings lately feeling completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of AI jargon flying around, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to demystify those core AI concepts, dial down that creeping tech anxiety, and actually build a highly actionable roadmap specifically for non-technical leaders. You absolutely do not need to be an engineer to lead in this new era, but you do need fluency. So let's just jump right in. Here's our game plan for today. We'll start by decoding some of those big AI buzzwords, then look at the shift from chatbots to agents. After that, we'll talk about becoming an AI-proof professional, building your AI fluency, and finally, how to confidently lead your team with AI. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, decoding AI buzzwords. We really need to separate the magic from the math here. Let's address a major frustration you've probably experienced firsthand. You ask a chatbot a question, and it gives you this incredibly confident answer that turns out to be, well, entirely false. So why does that happen? Well, large language models, or LLMs, are essentially just highly advanced prediction machines. Sure, they've digested billions of pages of text, but their main job is actually surprisingly simple. They're literally just guessing the next most likely word based on patterns. They aren't verifying facts or thinking the way you and I do. They're just designed to sound plausible. It's kind of like someone with unearned confidence who only read the Wikipedia summary of a book. And that perfectly illustrates a concept known as hallucinating. Because these models are so eager to please, and because they're built to generate text that just sounds right, they'll sometimes completely invent a historical event, or even generate a fake website link just to patch over gaps in their knowledge. This is exactly why you can never, ever blindly trust AI with high-stakes information. We're talking company financials, health data, legal contracts. No way. So, I want to offer you a powerful mindset shift to help mitigate that risk. Always remember this. You are the editor, and the AI is just the drafter. The AI can absolutely do the heavy lifting of generating initial ideas or summarizing messy data, but your human oversight, your context, and your judgment, those remain absolutely essential to the final product. Now, to tackle this hallucination problem, the industry uses a technique called RAG. That stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Think of standard AI as taking a closed book exam. It's relying solely on data and memorized months, maybe years ago during training. RAG, on the other hand, turns it into an open book exam. It connects the AI to a live database or your company's private files, fetching fresh, factual answers before it generates a response. This makes it incredibly accurate and actually allows it to cite its sources. Moving on to Section 2, from chatbots to agents. Let's look at the rapid evolution of this technology. For decades, traditional AI was purely analytical. Its whole job was to look at existing data and categorize it. Think of your email spam filter deciding, okay, is this email spam or not? Generative AI flipped the script entirely. Instead of just analyzing data, it uses what it's learned to create net new, totally original content that has never existed before. We're talking drafting entire reports from scratch to generating stunning, photorealistic images from just plain English descriptions. It's a real game changer. And now, AI agents represent another massive leap forward. A standard chatbot just talks, right? It generates text, but it still needs you to go execute the advice. An AI agent, however, doesn't just talk. It takes action across multiple steps. So instead of just giving you a dinner recipe, an AI agent can look up that recipe, check your smart fridge's inventory, and automatically order the missing ingredients from a delivery app. It implements the whole solution on its own. Let's pivot now to Section 3. The AI-proof professional. This is all about your uniquely human strengths in the AI era. I really want to directly reassure you here. If you're a manager or business leader, you do not need to go out and learn to code Python. That myth that AI is purely for engineers is totally outdated. Your true role is to be the AI translator. You know how technical teams in business leadership often talk past each other? Well, your value is bridging that gap. You're translating between what's technically possible and what actually drives real business outcomes. To really thrive in that translator role, there are 7 essential AI-proof skills that'll turn you from a task doer into a strategy driver. These include data judgment, technical curiosity, and AI collaboration. But notice how it also relies heavily on your soft skills. Complex problem solving, workflow automation, communication precision, and finally, influence and alignment. That's the deeply human ability to connect people and move work toward a shared goal. The crucial point to remember is this: as AI takes over automating routine analysis and administrative tasks, your human capacity to interpret those results, weigh the trade-offs, and tell a compelling story behind the numbers, that becomes your ultimate competitive edge. AI fluency is fundamentally all about your business judgment. All right, Section 4, Building AI Fluency. Let's map out a practical roadmap for you. To help build this fluency, massive collaborations like the AI Alliance are already on it. They're actively aligning education directly with employer needs to build frameworks for essential competencies. Basically, they're ensuring that the workforce actually understands how to use AI in a way that is safe, open, and responsible. You can actually build this fluency into your own daily routine in 4 pretty simple steps. First, learn in the flow of work. Don't treat it as a separate course, just start using it for drafting emails or brainstorming. Second, practice on real tasks, not just toy examples, so the stakes are real. Third, build a rock-solid habit of critically evaluating the outputs every single time. And fourth, once you're comfortable, lead a small, low-risk pilot on your team to see what works before you scale it up. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Leading with AI and Driving Team Adoption. A fantastic way to teach your team how to use these tools is to explain prompt engineering using a really relatable analogy. Tell them to treat the AI like a brand new intern who just started today. If you give an intern a vague prompt, you're going to get a generic, boring result. But if you provide a clear role, a specific task, and the exact format you expect, you give the AI a great brief. And that leads to incredibly sharp, highly usable outputs. Now, to successfully drive adoption across your team, you've got to realize this is essentially a change management exercise. You need to set clear guardrails early on so people know exactly what's safe to use. You've got to model the behavior yourself, share your own mistakes and how you caught them. Train your team in the context of their actual workflows, not just abstract concepts. And importantly, expect some resistance. You need to address your team's job anxieties head on, being completely honest about what is changing and, just as importantly, what isn't. And as a leader, you have to remember that governance matters immensely. You don't have to write the whole company policy from scratch, but you absolutely must be the leader who asks the tough questions before scaling a new tool. Ask about data privacy. Are we feeding sensitive customer data into this thing? Watch out for biased data that could skew outcomes in hiring or customer service. And always ensure there is clear human accountability for the final output. So what does this all mean? That brings us to our final thought. The technology is here, and it's capable of absolutely incredible things. But data and speed, they're totally meaningless without human direction. As AI automates the routine tasks in your workday, how will you step up and use your uniquely human strengths, your empathy, your judgment, your leadership to drive strategy today? I challenge you to embrace your role as an AI-fluent leader and turn this technology from an intimidating threat into your most powerful collaborative partner.